chat. So I'm a little bit late to the party on this particular topic. It's something I've been meaning to talk about for a while now. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to stream lately. So I'm a little bit late to this one, but I still wanted to talk about it. One in the chat, if you guys are familiar with someone known as Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg is like, you know, a younger person who's very outspoken in support of like, basically the support of the environment and climate change and stuff like that. This is what she's most well known for. Well, recently she put out a tweet where she spoke out in support of Palestine, free Palestine and stuff like that. I'm not going to get super detailed into, you know, my thoughts on that particular conflict. We've talked about it in previous videos, but to kind of sum it up, I'm in favor of, you know, freeing Palestine. I'm obviously not in favor of the terrorist actions committed by Hamas, and I'm definitely not in favor of, the horrible oppression against Palestinians that's been committed by the IDF. And the most important thing, I think, is I'm not in favor of the killing and slaughtering of innocent people from both countries. Okay, I think that's a pretty fair take to have, that innocent people shouldn't be slaughtered and killed. But let me tell you, over the course of this conflict, I have seen the most insane fucking takes taking place on the internet, like literally justifying the killing of innocent people. It's been insanely bizarre. But again, I don't want to get too much into that. The thing we mainly want to focus here is on what Greta Thunberg had to say over on Twitter. Now, we're looking at an archived tweet because the original tweet was deleted and replaced with a new tweet. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive into this and we're going to kind of give our thoughts on this. But here's the original tweet. Week 270. Today we strike in solidarity with Palestine and Gaza. The world needs to speak up and call for an immediate ceasefire, justice, and freedom for Palestinians and all civilians affected. Hashtag free Palestine. Hashtag I stand with Palestine. Hashtag stand with Gaza. Hashtag Fridays for future. A thread. Now, they attached a picture here. We can see one of their friends with a free Palestine sort of poster flag here. Climate justice now. This Jew stands with Palestine and stand with Gaza. Now, on the surface, this seems like a pretty harmless image. Even with what we're about to talk about now, I'm going to tell you this is a harmless image, chat. But the internet took issue with this image. So much so that Greta felt the need to delete her original tweet, repost said tweet with a different image. Now, chat, what was the problem with the original image? We'll get into that a little bit later. But here's the repost of the tweet. Pretty much the exact same message, but different picture. You notice the picture's a little bit different, chat? She actually clarifies this here. It has come to my knowledge that the stuffed animal shown in my earlier posts can be interpreted as a symbol for anti-Semitism, which I was completely unaware of. The toy in the picture is a tool often used by autistic people as a way to communicate feelings. We are, of course, against any type of discrimination and condemn anti-Semitism in all forms and shapes. This is non-negotiable. That is why I deleted my last post. Now, what is she talking about, chat? A symbol of anti-Semitism? I probably should have left the archived tweet back up. Let me pull it back up real quick. But what is she talking about, chat? If we pull up the original tweet again, we can see in the image, she has a little octopus plushie. Chat, you see this little octopus plushie? Funny enough, I actually own one of these. I have a funny story with it. Let me actually grab it. It's not the exact same one, but I actually own one of these. An octopus, the autism octopus. The reason I have this, funny story, the reason I have this is that my nephew, it was the first year for Christmas that he wanted to buy everybody a Christmas gift. And so his mom's like, here's a little bit of money. I'll take you to the store and you can buy Christmas gifts for people. And this is what he bought for me. Just a pretty normal looking plushie or whatever of an octopus, right? And it turns inside out into this red octopus that kind of looks a little bit sad. Now, I had no idea what this was. I just thought it was like a really kind of, cute octopus plushie that I got as a gift from my nephew. I had no idea that this was an autism plushie. Like, I had no fucking idea that's what this was. I even talked to my sister today and I was like, did you know that like that octopus that, you know, Angel got me, my nephew, did you know it was an autism octopus? I had no fucking clue. So I've had this and it's actually been in my setup for quite a while, just kind of chilling in the background. So people have probably seen it in the past. Maybe they haven't. I'm not really sure, but I had no idea what this was. This is a tool used for autistic kids so they can communicate how they feel. If you feel happy, then you show this side. And if you feel kind of sad or upset, you can flip it inside out and you can show this side. So kind of useful tool, right? But some people are saying that this is very similar to symbols that are used that are anti-Semitic. Okay, chat? What are we talking about here? I'm actually going to go into this article by Forbes that kind of touches on it just a little bit. I'm also going to kind of fill you guys in on where the anti-Semitism comes into play. But this article by Forbes says Greta Thunberg's stand with Gaza is a problem for the climate change movement. Anyway, on October 20th, Greta Thunberg posted a picture of herself with other activists in support of the Palestinian people in Gaza. The post drew immediate backlash for accusations of anti-Semitism and direct criticism from Israel. Israel literally responded to this tweet, chat. Let's scroll down to the other parts I have highlighted because we're not going to read the whole article. Thunberg's post supporting Palestinians was not as welcome and quite controversial for a number of elements. The post featured Thunberg holding a sign that said, "Stand with Gaza." She was joined by 3 other youth holding signs that stated, "Free Palestine, Climate Justice Now," and "This Jew stands with Palestine." The picture also featured a blue octopus stuffed animal. The blue octopus drew some of the harshest rebukes, as many believed it was a direct reference to an anti-Semitic symbol found in early 20th century political cartoons. The blue octopus was intended to imply that the Jewish people are exerting influence in all areas of society. Commentators immediately noted that the symbolism of the stuffed animal. Thunberg quickly removed the original image and replaced it with a version without the blue octopus. Thunberg apologized, saying she didn't realize the symbolism. However, that did not pacify her critics. Backlash was swift and strong. Israel retweeted saying Hamas doesn't use sustainable materials for their rockets, which have butchered innocent Israelis. Thunberg continued to add amended statements over the next few days, backtracking and clarifying her stance, but it did little to help. Outrage has continued to grow. Israel pulled Thunberg from school curriculum, and she was denounced by some climate activists. The lasting effects of this tweet may come to an end within a few weeks. However, it raises a larger question as to the impact of Thunberg's politics on the environmental movement. Okay, so how is this anti-Semitic, Chad? How is this little innocent little plushie of an octopus, how is this anti-Semitic? Okay, let's find out. So, as it was briefly mentioned in that article, political cartoons, mostly Nazi propaganda, use the image of, more specifically, a kraken to represent the Jews and present them in a malicious way. It was usually a kraken with a globe to signify that this, crazy conspiracy theory that Jews are trying to take over the world. Okay. So a lot of people are conflating this little autism octopus being included in the picture, not this exact one, but one like this one, being included in this picture as symbolism of that, which I think is just insane. By the way, isn't Greta Thunberg, isn't she autistic? I'm pretty sure she herself is autistic, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and let's actually read a little bit about this. Nazi-era anti-Semitic propaganda poster. Nazi propaganda cartoon by Sepla, Joseph Planck, I probably butchered that, a political cartoonist, Germany, date uncertain, probably during World War II. Beginning in the 1920s, Nazi propagandists promoted the anti-Semitic myth that Jews were engaged in a massive conspiracy to take over the world. This false notion alleged that international Jewry used various people and groups as part of a plan for global conquest. At the time, an octopus extended its tentacles over the globe. That was a common visual metaphor for this myth. Seppala likely created the cartoon in the early 1940s when Nazi Germany was at war with Great Britain. The cartoon shows British politician Winston Churchill as the octopus. The above octopus head is the Jewish Star of David. The tentacles seem to be losing their grip on the world. In the cartoon, Europe is shown as being free from under the octopus control. In Seppala's cartoon, the octopus seemed to symbolize both the anti-Semitic myth of international Jewry and Great Britain. The image suggests that Churchill is a tool for the alleged conspiracy. It also suggests that both Jews and Great Britain will be ultimately defeated. Okay, so that's why people are like looking at this innocent little, autism octopus and saying that this was like veiled anti-Semitism, which is just insane. Another thing I want to highlight before wrapping up this segment is that Greta also did go on to clarify, it goes without saying, or so I thought, that I'm against the horrific attacks by Hamas. Great take. As I said, the world needs to speak up and call for an immediate ceasefire, justice and freedom for Palestinians and all civilians affected. Hashtag stand with Palestine. So chat. This just seems like another one of those things where people are going out of their way to find something to be outraged about. Chat, it's an autistic girl who had an autism plushie in the background during a photo. It's not that deep, all right? Like, I don't think this was any kind of like, hidden message of anti-Semitism or anything like that. I think that's just silly, chat. The fact that people make a massive deal over like such minor fucking things to try and make it out to be something it isn't, like, some people just need to log off because they're not helping anything. I kind of like mentioned this when we covered the whole Sushi Gate thing in the previous segment we covered tonight, but these are the kind of things that like outsiders who aren't part of the left look at, and it just makes us all look crazy. Like, if you happen to be watching this, if I can give any advice to fellow leftist content creators, don't do this. Literally don't do this. This is dumb, and it makes us all look stupid. When you make a big stink about nothing burgers like this, you make us all look dumb. So please stop. It's a fucking plushie that's made for autistic kids so they express how they feel. It's not a veiled image of anti-Semitism. Get a fucking clue.